Supergirl number 13, written by Mike Johnson, art by Sammy Basri. Last issue, we left off with Simon Tycho, aka Guy from First Arc, showing up in Supergirl's Fortress of Solitude at the bottom of the ocean, and he did not look very good. And this issue picks up with him literally explaining, like, okay, here's what happened. You blew up my satellite, and I had to, share my body with a translucent alien jelly man. And now I've come back here. I need you to understand this isn't for payback, but simply because I tracked the energy signature of this place. And then Supergirl just comes up and picks him up by the throat and is like, shut up and stop talking my language. I don't want to hear it no more. So then a fight breaks out. And for the most part, it's a smackdown where Tycho's just like, yeah, no, you're faster and a little bit stronger than I remember, but I've got new alien jelly powers. So we could fight, or you could just listen to me because I'm not here to fight you. So inside this fortress are a bunch of the sun crystals, I think they were called. And Tycho's like, you stole one of these from me. After I stole it from you, I tracked the energy of these things back down to here, came down, checked it out, and wouldn't you know it, I think they have a recorded message on it. So let's see what's up. And they start playing the message, and it's literally the message from her father, but just audio. There's no hologram or anything like that. And it plays through, and we hear the gunshot noise, and she's like, why do I have to keep dealing with this? But then it continues on, and she hears the voice, as we learned in the Zero issue, of her mother saying, how could you do that? And Tycho is also able to pick up on this. He's like, that's your mom? And your mom shot your dad? Oh, no. But it sounds like your dad isn't done yet. And she hears how he said launch and launched Supergirl out into deep space. And he's like, wow, that's some traumatic stuff. And we see Supergirl is just crying about it as her memories come flooding back. She remembers all of it now. And he's just like, okay, well, now we know why Daddy sent you here. Here's the thing. Your dad didn't send you here empty-handed. He sent you here with this whole place. He must have figured you needed this place. And all these crystals, they have incredible data to them. Here's the issue, though. I can't access it. All my alien jelly powers won't let me in. It seems to only want to respond to you. So, despite the fact that this place is underwater and yet somehow it doesn't get crushed underneath the ocean and also has a self-renewing energy source, I can't figure it out. So I need you to, help me through here. So she speaks out. She's like, hello, can you hear me? And she's like, oh, hello, I am Sanctuary. And it's like, Sanctuary? And it's like, yes, your father left me as a gift. And he's like, oh, Sanctuary. And Tycho's like, hey, try something simple. Do a really simple command. And she's like, Sanctuary, dim the lights. And all the lights go down. And he's like, fantastic. It responds to you. Now, tell it to listen to me, as he starts attacking her again. And he's just like, God, see, you just keep doing this. You just want to control things. That's all you want. And he's just like, yeah, clearly. Do you not understand the rich and powerful, Supergirl? And he goes on this whole long thing of you have all these powers, but you are so completely afraid to use them. You need to be something. You need to do something with it. Rather, you're too nice. And then he explains how down here in the ocean floor, he's done his research and realizes that she's powered by the yellow sun. Down here, without the yellow sun, she'll be depowered. So either she has to give it up to him, or they're going to fight until the point where she actually dies. And he's just she stops and she thinks for a moment. She's like, Sanctuary, do you detect someone else in here? And Sanctuary's like, yeah. She's like, Sanctuary, neutralize that other person. And all of a sudden these crystals start coming up out of the ground and trapping Simon. And Simon's trying to smash his way out of it. And she's like, oh, this stuff doesn't even get crushed by the ocean. There's no way you'll smash through it. Although I will let you out if you say that you're sorry. And it's growing up around his face. And he's like, what? She's like, just say you're sorry. He's like, I'm sorry. And then he's covered up by the crystal. And he's like, oh, too late. Here's the thing. You said that you don't need to eat or sleep anymore because of your alien jelly body. So I'm assuming that you're just going to be able to live in there alive and aware of everything indefinitely. And I'll let you out eventually when you change. So at this point, she turns the lights back up. She grabs a sun crystal and she's like, okay, all right, maybe my dad wasn't that awful, but you still could have given me the choice to stay with you and Mom. That's a bit of a dick move, Dad. But regardless, thanks for the home base. So then she tells Sanctuary to go through the internet and call Shaban back in Ireland, or sorry, New York. And Shaban wakes up to a video call from her. She's like, "Hey, I'm down at the bottom of the ocean on an alien base," and Shaban's like, "That's a good joke." "Oh, you're serious? Okay, that's weird." But then the Sanctuary, she basically says like, "Yeah, you can call whenever you want." Sanctuary interrupts and says, "I'm detecting an unidentified Kryptonian on the planet." And Kara's like, "Yeah, it's probably just Kal-El. He's on the planet." And he's like, "No, no, Kal-El's pretty well identified. There's something else on the planet." And we see Superman is fighting something, and it's apparently Kryptonian. And this leads directly into the crossover Superman event, Hell on Earth, which I believe starts in Superman 13, 14, 13. I have it somewhere. I think it's 13. So yeah, it's something. Here's the thing. I do enjoy everything it's set up here. I think it did a fantastic job of showing like, okay, here's how Kara finds out about this thing and here's how she feels about it and whatnot. But from a reader's perspective, this is kind of just playing over all the things that we already know for a huge part of the issue here, where it's like we knew that Simon Tycho had this body. We knew what actually happened to Kara because of the Zero issue. We know how she has her powers and whatnot. Like, we know all this. So it's just recounting for the reader's sake things we already know because it was introduced without Kara's knowledge. Or rather, we're showing that different characters have learned different things. That being said, I think that the latter half of the issue and her learning like about Sanctuary and like her working through her feelings with her father, having Shaban show back up, love that. This felt like not exactly a capper, but it did feel like okay, we've reached a point with Supergirl. She is now accepted she has a place here on Earth. She has a friend she can talk to. She has her own fortress. This is kind of like, okay, this is the turning point of Supergirl's finally found some place on Earth for herself. And in that regard, I really do enjoy it. I think it's a solid issue. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7.5. Really do enjoy it. Really looking forward to how this continues. Hell on Earth, of course, is a completely separate thing, but if the writers of this have any input on that at all, I'm definitely intrigued to see where it all turns out.